so at that point, I felt it was the best thing for me was, you know.
You think at that point he was jaded? A little?
I wouldn't say jaded. I just think, like I said, you know, it's just that
or apprehensive.
I believe that I was definitely in a very unique situation. Because like I said, you're dealing with another artist. But if you look at the music business, right? L.A. Reid, he had a lot of face. L.A. Reid ain't never tried to get on nobody's records. All his artists thrived. Whatever he needed to support their careers and help them go, they go. Right. Suge Knight ain't never tried to get on nobody's song, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Certain, you know, success that comes from having CEOs that don't have the ambition of artists. You know what I'm saying?
That don't want to be all in the videos.
Yeah. But the reality of it is, you know, it was working for him. Yeah. It ain't like this was somebody.
It was a winning formula.
Yeah, that was trying to force, you know, right. a non-talented situation and put it, you know, before true talent. Is like
this worked from the rip.
The guy's talented. You know what I'm saying?
And if you think about the work that he did prior to having his own label and how he was kind of pushed out of that situation, this was like preemptive for that never to ever happen again.
That could be. That could definitely be his, you know, psychosis. You know, that could be his mindset. But for me, being in my 20s at that time, I'm not thinking like that. I'm just thinking like, yo, dog, we doing something amazing. It's amazing. These records is huge. You know what I'm saying? We performed at the White House. Like we you know, we doing big things. Like during 9/11, it was whole. They had all the firemen over here, the police over here, up on stage waving the American flag. Like we at the White House. You know what I'm saying? We doing Z100 arenas. You know, everybody on Z100 is not hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I toured with Britney Spears, NSYNC, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on Nickelodeon when Nick Cannon was on, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like everything that he said, that's I think the thing with Puff. Regardless of where he may be in life or in his career, you do not want to not bet on him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think anybody got any sense struggles with, like, you don't want to not bet on him. You know what I'm saying? Because of what he accomplished. You know? You don't want to not bet on him. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I mean, I kind of outgrew that situation, which leads to the journey that I'm on now.
So I saw a resurgence of street talk after you distanced yourself from Puff a little bit. It was like Jim Jones, you was really talking.
Oh yeah. I was in a bad place. I was in a bad place because one, everything that transpired, all those nuances or issues that was coming up, they didn't have a single clue what just took place in my life and what I'm trying to establish for myself at this point. So
you mean as far as
like, you know, just everything that took place at Bad Boy.
Right, gotcha.
And me leaving, now I have to prove to myself in the world that I can do it on my own.
Right.
So the last thing I need is someone who just reached a point in their career, whatever, getting a little spark and trying to use that, you know what I'm saying, to obstruct my path. And that's what I kind of think, you know, Jim was doing at the time. I think that at that time, because like, I ain't never had no problem with him. Like, I ain't really know him. I ain't never grew up with him. We don't got no history at all in the street.
How did it start?
I don't even know how it started, to be honest with you. I was just as shocked when I seen Freeze put the joint out. He was talking about, he seen me like selling Boost mobile phones and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, bugging, like what's wrong with him? You know what I'm saying? Because I remember it clear as day. Like I was at Lenox Mall in Atlanta. I was cool with the vice president of Boost Mobile, who was like trying to build the brand at the time. So what they asked of me is like, yo, you know, trying to build a company, we just want to get, you know, $5,000 a month for anybody that just rock the phone and the phone bills, whatever, do whatever. So I'm thinking like, you know, type of dude I am. I'm gonna spread the love. I gave Kanye a phone. This was like then, like Kanye wasn't even Kanye quite yet. Kanye, Mace, like, so I remember seeing Jim at Lenox Mall. I seen Chrissy. Chrissy know me from street, from Harlem. You know what I'm saying? So seeing, oh, Loon, what up, boom, boom. I'm like, yo, I should do it, right? Like, yeah, you know, let them know that, boom, boom, boom. I'm giving up the situation that I'm dealing with. Next thing I know, might like, yo, you know, your man was on Freeze joint Sub-Zero talking about like Loon was time. I'm like, so now I'm like, you know, that was an issue for me because I'm like, dog, I don't even know you. You don't really know me like that. Me ain't got no history, no nothing, like nothing. Our paths never crossed, you know what I'm saying? And you slandering me.
Right.
You know, it's like, okay, you got people to buy into whatever your movement, whatever you trying to create for yourself, that's cool. You don't need to try to slander Loon to solidify that.
Right.
Because if it ain't a fluke, then what you do? You don't need me
Right.
to propel your career. You don't need me, you know what I'm saying, or whatever you think transpired at that moment when it came down to them phones.
Right.
That was me just trying to introduce the guys I know to help someone else that I knew who was in a executive position at Boost Mobile. And it turned into a whole circus. And next thing I know, it's like, now I'm beefing with Dipset. You know what I'm saying? Not Cam. I never had an issue with Cam. I knew Cam before I knew anybody over there. Any of them, I've been knew Cam growing up.
So why wasn't these situations stopped immediately? You knew Cam from...
Well, that was the issue because I think that because of what they established as a group or a conglomerate, whatever you want to call it, I think that their loyalties didn't enable them to see, like, this is an issue you don't need. It's going to be a lot of stuff that come with the path y'all on.
Right.
You know, why initiate something that, you know, is not conducive to no success or anything that you're trying to accomplish? Like, why do that? And then I was kind of bitter at Cam because I felt like, you know me better than all of these cats. Like, you know. And I remember I had a conversation with him. He was like, yo, these dudes is grown men. I can't tell them this and that. All right, well, cool. Say no more. That's it. They grown men. That's how we gonna deal with it. You know? And that's basically what my head was. Like, whoever I see, whoever I get close to, or proximity, arm reach, whatever, I'm gonna try to deal with the situation accordingly. You know? Since you know, this my man, I know you telling me they grown.
Okay.
You know? So that's basically like you not getting involved.
Well, right. You staying out of it.
And that's what it was, you know. So, you know. But, you know, Allah is the best at planners because it's like, you know, I found something more, you know, way more meaningful.
Now, I got to ask, did those situations kind of like help to push you in the other direction?
Well, it definitely wasn't foreseeable. But I think that it sparked, you know, anger that I didn't have in a very long time. Because I felt like these are dudes that come from where I come from that really wasn't really out there like I was out there. They wasn't doing the stuff that I was doing. So just because y'all got some cats in other places in the states or whatever buying into y'all movement, you ain't never got to try to downplay what false perception a person may have of me.
Right.
Y'all know better. It's actually supposed to be cats like y'all that clarify whenever somebody get this wrong. Right. Well, not Loon. Loon ain't no green light. Like Loon, yeah. Just like people used to do for MC Hammer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got cats that ain't even live in Oakland. Like, not him. Nah. Him.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Right.
You know? So I felt like, for me, that was more appropriate coming from them than to try to, like, you know, forge some kind of presence in Harlem or whatever, or outside of Harlem, whatever. It's like I felt like that was just it was just a play that was just unnecessary.
Right.
Because they was gonna be successful anyway.
Right.
They had good music. They had a good thing going.
It was going.
And that little moment didn't benefit or contribute to it. So it was just senseless. Nobody started buying into Dipset because of that Sub-Zero interview.
Right.
That just solidified that individual's character. That's your character. That's all you did. That's your character. But as far as what y'all established as a group, as a company, what was supposed to reach you was gonna reach you anyway. You know?
This Hoffa, trapper turned smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in